Justice Anthony Kennedy retires from the U.S. Supreme Court, an Oregon gun ban ballot measure implodes, and the Heller decision celebrates its 10-year anniversary. These stories and more on This Week in Gun Rights. Justice Anthony Kennedy is retiring from the U.S. Supreme Court. Now that he's leaving, we have a real shot at overturning some of these really outrageous Second Amendment restrictions. You can imagine how the anti-gunners feel about that.
This has to be a joke. I cannot believe this is happening.
But seriously, people like Camilla Harris out of California are saying that another conservative justice would mean the end of the Constitution. Look, these morons wouldn't know what the Constitution looks like if you rolled it up and slapped them across the face with it.
My God, pull yourself together.
Oregon gun owners scored a huge victory this week when the state Supreme Court refused to certify an anti-gun ballot initiative. This outrageous gun ban would have defined all sorts of rifles, handguns, and even shotguns as assault weapons. Plus, the initiative would have prohibited owning standard capacity magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, effectively Californicating Oregon gun laws. But now it looks like these crazy measures won't make the ballot after all, thanks to the court blocking it.
Against Matumbo, and Dikembe says no. Matumbo shaking his finger. Yes.
Not in my house.
In yet another example of why gun control never works, we have a story out of Japan. A knife-wielding lunatic recently slashed a police officer and took his gun and then used it to shoot a security guard. Now, this happened despite the fact that the mainstream media has assured us that Japan has almost completely eliminated gun deaths. I guess these folks never considered the fact that police can, be disarmed.
I don't think so, homeboy. You're in my house now, bitch!
This week, we celebrate the 10th anniversary of District of Columbia v. Heller, the landmark Supreme Court case that established, well, what we already knew, that the Second Amendment protects the individual right to keep and bear arms.
Read the words. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Sure, you need an organized military force to defend your country, but the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is the people, in contrast with the militia. It doesn't say the right of the militia to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It says the right of the people. Now, why the word people? Because the people who wrote this had just fought a war for 2 years against a tyrannical state militia. They knew the time might come when they'd have to do that again. So they made the possession of weapons a right that the militia could never take away.
Finally, the Firearms Policy Coalition has filed a 923-page legal opposition to ATF's attempt at banning bump stocks. The agency sneakily tried to push through a regulation, but FPC and its attorneys dismantled the government's arguments and have demanded to be heard on the issue. If the ATF continues to pursue this agenda, we're prepared to seek any and all remedies to protect your constitutional right to keep and bear arms.
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender!
And that'll be it for This Week in Gun Rights. Once again, I'm Craig DeLuz with the Firearms Policy Coalition. Remember to have fun, stay safe, and stay free.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.